Hello everyone. Let me introduce you. My name is Wisnu Herdi. I'm from 3H. Now I want to explain you more about the PMK 81 in the year of 2024. Uh, Maybe I will explain about the article in PMK 81. It's the first article 265 until 267. So, this article as a whole discusses the procedure for the refund of value added tax on goods carried by foreign tourists. Now we move to the tax return eligibility. A VAT refund can be requested if the total VAT value on goods carried is at least 500,000 rupiah. The purchase of goods must be made no later than 1 month before departure from the customs area. The tax invoice used must comply with the applicable legal regulation. And we move to the refund application procedure. Foreign tourists must apply for a refund at the designed departure airport determined by the minister. And the second one is the refund request can only be submitted by the respective foreign tourists when leaving Indonesia. The required documents include a passport, boarding pass, and a tax invoice. Now we move to the payment process. So the payment process is start from the refund of 5 million rupiah or less are issued in cash in Indonesian rupiah. Refund exceeding 5 million rupiah are processed via bank transfer to the foreign tourist account with transfer fees borne to the recipient. And the process of disbursing refund amount is explained in the article 270 in the paragraph 5. And the refund disbursement methods, there are using cash and bank transfer. And now we move to the requirements and the penalties for the retail stores. So, retail stores must register as taxable entrepreneurs or PKP to participate in the VAT refund scheme for foreign tourists. This registration is accordance with the Article 266. Second one, retail store that hand over goods to foreign tourists must issue a tax invoice for those goods. This is compliance with the provision outlined in Article 13, paragraph 5 on the VAT tax law. And number 3, the tax invoice issued must meet the legal requirements set forth in the tax regulation. This includes correct procedure for creating, canceling, or maybe correcting the tax invoice. Number 4, retail stores must submit tax notification letter for all taxable transactions they conduct, including the sale of goods to foreign tourists in accordance with the tax regulation. Number 5, if a retail store does not comply with the requirements, such as failing to register or issue proper invoice, they may be subject to sanction under the law. Now, we move to the issuance of a letter of instruction. The first one, letter of instruction for payment of tax, refund supply funds, letter of instruction for payment of replacement of tax refund supply funds, letter of instruction for payment of additional tax refund supply funds. And 3 points here are the meaning of each the letter. Now we move to the process of issuing letter. The issuing of tax refund supply fund letters involve 3 scenarios. For the initial supply, the head of tax office estimate the required amount based on past refund data or projected needs and issues a letter of instruction for payment of tax refund supply funds, capped at 500 million rupiah, which is submitted to the state treasury for disbursement. When at least 50% of the current supply fund is used, a letter of instruction for payment of replacement of tax refund supply fund is issued to replenish the fund and maintain operational levels. If the supply fund is insufficient for upcoming demands, a letter of instruction for payment of additional tax refund supply fund is prepared and submitted to secure additional funds, ensuring strict accountability for their use. And now we move to the management of tax refund supply fund. At the end of the fiscal year, the head of tax office must deposit any remaining tax refund supply funds. If depositing the fund is not possible by the year end, the remaining funds are carried over and offset against the allocation for the next year's supply. Additionally, the head of the tax office prepares an accountability report detailing the realization of payment made up to the 31 December, ensuring compliance with regulation on state revenue and expenditure. As the budget user authority, the head is also responsible for compiling financial reports on the management of tax refund supply fund, including VAT refunds issued to foreign tourists, and integrating this information into the financial report of the associated work unit. Now we move to the article 278 until 285. This article discusses about limitation on activities and types of taxable service subject to the value added tax, or we know as VAT on export. I will explain you more about the VAT on exported service. So in the article 278, paragraph 1, and article 279, it is explained that VAT on the exported service is subject to the tax, and activities related to the export services must involve services that are directly utilized or benefit outside the custom area. And this is the specification of taxable exported services. On the article 280, there are a few specific types of taxable services export. There are macron services, repair and maintenance services, freight forwarding services, consulting services, technology and information services, and the last one is interconnection services. For the documentation and the payment, a written agreement detailing the type of service, the scope of service provided, and the value of taxable services. And the second, payment with the valid proof of payment from the recipient of the service. Now we move to the exemption and the non-VAT eligible exported services. It is explained more on Article 283. So if the criteria VAT is not met, the services are considered as a non-taxable within the customs area. Services not complying with the required documentation and payment terms may be subject to domestic VAT instead of 0% export VAT. The tax invoice and reporting obligation. On the Article 284, it is explained about the taxable entrepreneurs exporting services to issue a VAT invoice at the time of export. If goods or services are involved, proper documentation must be submitted according to the custom regulation, including an export notification and the invoice. Non-compliance with VAT invoicing and export reporting may lead to the penalties, ensuring the tax compliance and smooth export process. And the adjustment of input VAT. On Article 295, allows businesses engaged in exporting services to claim input VAT credits for the VAT paid on the imported goods or services that are directly related to their export activities. This provision enables businesses to offset the VAT they have paid on inputs against the VAT collected on their export, ensuring that they are not subject to double taxation. By allowing the crediting of input VAT, the system supports tax efficiency and help reduce the financial burden on businesses involved in international trade. I think it's all I can tell you about the PMK 81, specifically on Article 265 until 285. It's all from me. Thank you.